The Jade Hairpin. My name is David, and I had lived a completely ordinary life in California. Sunny beaches, carefree laughter, and fear that only came from Hollywood horror movies I knew were fake. Everything changed when I set foot in Vietnam, visiting my family's small village in the Mekong Delta. The ancestral home stood before me, a dark mass of ironwood with a decaying yin-yang tile roof. It wasn't just old, it was alive, breathing in the scent of dampness, of agarwood incense that had seeped into every fiber of the wood, the scent of the spirits that had once dwelt here. My grandmother, a tiny woman with eyes that held too many stories, greeted me with a smile that I now realize couldn't hide her anxiety. One gloomy afternoon, I was rummaging through a dusty old trunk in the storage room. My hand touched something cold and smooth. It was a jade hairpin. A carving of a phoenix seemed to writhe in agony, and the deep green jade shimmered with a hue that I could swear held blood within it. "It's beautiful," I said to my grandmother, holding it out. The moment she saw it, her face changed, her trembling smile vanished. "Where did you get that?" Her voice was dry, as if a curse had just escaped her lips. "In the old trunk. I thought it was beautiful, so—" "David!" she snapped, her old trembling hand snatching the hairpin from me. "This is not to be touched. It belongs to someone who is dead, a death from which she could not pass on." Her eyes stared at me, deep and hollow, as if foreseeing something terrible. But I was a true blue American, taught that everything could be explained by science. Her warning only made the forbidden object more intriguing. That night, I secretly took the hairpin, hid it under my pillow, and felt its icy coldness through the thin fabric. That's when it all began. I awoke to the overpowering scent of jasmine, so sweet it was sickening, as if thousands of blossoms were blooming right beside my bed. It was not a pleasant fragrance. It was the smell of death, of a brutal decay masked by perfume. I felt the hair on my neck stand up. There were no jasmine bushes anywhere near the house. On the second night, along with the jasmine scent, I heard whispers. They weren't words. It was a string of moaning, mournful sounds, as if hundreds of souls were trapped in an invisible cage, trying to escape. The sound slid past my ears like a razor blade gently scraping against my eardrums, repeating an unspeakable pain. The room turned freezing cold, even in the sweltering heat of the Vietnamese night. On the third night, I saw her. I opened my eyes to the thick, oppressive darkness. The figure of a woman in a white eye, her long black hair hanging limp like seaweed, stood in the corner of the room. She didn't move. She just stood there like a living statue. I couldn't see her face, but I could feel her cold gaze piercing right through me, fixed on the hairpin lying on my bedside table. I was paralyzed, a scream caught in my throat. Something was flowing down from her body. Not blood. It was a thin black vapor like smoke that slowly dissolved into the wooden floor. I squeezed my eyes shut, prayed, and when I opened them again, she was gone. The next morning, I rushed to my grandmother, my face ashen. "Grandma, there's a ghost! It's a demon! It's watching me!" My grandmother showed no surprise. She poured me a cup of hot tea, the steam rising like a mystical fog. "Did you see her face?" "No, just long black hair and a white eye, and I felt her staring at the hairpin." My grandmother sighed heavily. "My boy, you are facing something your science cannot explain. Here we call it Wan Ki. It's not just a vengeful ghost like in your horror movies. Wan Ki is a trapped soul, bound by pain, betrayal, and unforgivable despair. The heavier the resentment, the more the soul cannot find peace, and they will forever linger where they died, were attached to what they cherished most. "But does she want to kill me?" I asked, trembling. "Not in the way you think," she whispered, her gaze distant as if looking through the walls. "She just wants you to know her pain. She wants you to feel her entrapment. And you did just that. You took the one thing that holds her here, the thing she cannot leave behind." She told me about Koba, a beautiful girl who had thrown herself into the river over a forbidden love. The hairpin was their love token, a testament to a promise that had been broken. She fell for the wrong man. "Her soul has attached itself to this hairpin," she said, stroking the cold jade. "You are not holding an object. You are holding a piece of Koba's soul." A chill ran down my spine. I wasn't just being watched by a ghost. I was being haunted by the pain of a dead person. "So, what do we do now?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Make offerings? Burn incense?" She nodded. "With resentful spirits, we do not banish them. We do not fight. We seek to soothe them. We show them that their pain is heard. We try to help them find the peace they never had in life." That night, in the haunted room, my grandmother set up a simple altar. Candles flickered, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. The scents of jasmine and agarwood incense mingled, creating a suffocating atmosphere. She placed the hairpin on a piece of dark red silk. "Light the incense, David," she said, her voice a command. "You are the one who disturbed her. You must speak to her yourself." With a trembling hand, I lit 3 incense sticks. The smoke twisted upwards like invisible ropes connecting 2 worlds. I knelt, clasped my hands, and felt every pulse in my body throb. "I'm sorry, Koba. I didn't know. I'm returning this to you. Please rest in peace." As the words left my mouth, a bone-chilling gust of wind swept past me, extinguishing the candles in an instant. The room plunged into absolute darkness. The scent of jasmine suddenly became so suffocatingly strong, as if she were right there breathing beside me. A faint white-robed figure stood before me. This time I could feel the cold radiating from her, and I saw through the curtain of her limp black hair her empty eyes staring directly into mine. They held no anger, but a black hole of despair, an endless thirst that could never be quenched. She said nothing, not a sound. There was only that gaze, and a cold that seeped into my very bones. Then very slowly she turned towards the hairpin. A single tear, black and thick like oil, rolled down her pale cheek. She slowly dissolved, not into thin air, but into the darkness itself, becoming part of an unnameable horror. The jasmine scent faded. The cold vanished. The room returned to normal, but I did not. I would never be the same David again. The next day, the hairpin was taken to a small shrine under an ancient banyan tree, a place my grandmother called sacred. But I knew that for Koba, no place was sacred anymore. There was only endless pain, and a part of my soul had been scarred by an inexplicable haunting. Now, whenever I smell jasmine or see a flash of white in the corner of my eye, I shudder. I know that somewhere Koba is still trapped, and perhaps a part of that resentment has clung to me forever.